Sensei Carlos de la Cruz, and we're coming to you again from the New Wave Martial Arts and Fitness facility in Warwick, Rhode Island. Today's tutorial, I wanted to cover a couple of things. The main thing that I wanted to cover was something that I see in seminars that really bothers me, and it's the separation of genders, like male and female. Not during competition, but during training, especially the close quarter stuff that we're doing in the self-defense stuff. If you're separating men from women, what you're kind of saying is that they're not able, for whatever reason, to perform the technique. So what I want you to consider is that maybe you're the one performing the technique improperly. So what's the biggest difference between male and female is generally size and strength. Hand size are bigger with men, hand size of women was smaller with women. Those are the real differences. So gender doesn't really come into it, it's more about size. So if you convince yourself that, well, I can do it this way because I'm always going to be the bigger person and I've always been able to pull the technique off, when the person that attacks you is larger than you, which is most likely the case, then you're going to be the woman, right? So you can't think of women weaker, it's bigger, smaller. Male, female doesn't really come into the martial arts. It's all about application of your technique. So that's one of the first things we're going to cover, and it's kind of adding on to the jiu-jitsu wrist locking video that we did earlier. Not the finger locking extensions, but just the main wrist lock. So the biggest questions that people have in terms of wrist locks is, how am I going to be able to break the grip? Am I really going to be able to apply the lock? So there are a couple of factors that go into that. But principally, going back to what we were talking about, is the proper application of technique. Lewis, let me borrow you. So we're going to do a right grab. So which side is the best side for you? Okay. So he's going to grab me. Oh, see how my instant reaction is to bring my hands up because I don't know what that hand's going to do. I don't know if he's grabbing me to headbutt me. So the first thing I have to do is run interference and start getting his focus off his attack. Hey man, calm down, whatever you're going to say. This is all part of your own individual training. It doesn't really matter. My hands are up and I created this. I want to get this hand off. Striking, essential, but we're going to skip that for now because, again, that has more to do with your training and whoever you train with and how you want to do that. Because you can kick out of this, you can punch out of this, it really doesn't matter. As long as his wrist is in this position like this, he's in the strongest position. Grab nice and strong. He can pull me, boom. He can push me, boom. And he can kind of move me around a little bit, okay? So I want to break this grip. Coach Steve, my BJJ coach, you can't get that hand off. Okay, you're gonna have to bite him, maybe bite his thumb, maybe. He may like it, but how do I get this hand off? By taking this hand from this position to this position. So if I was climbing a rope, I'd start here, but I'd pull my way up to the strong position. If I was doing a Kali, and I'm glad you're holding on, because you can see the motion, the ability to move that I have. If I'm hitting a Kali stick, I don't want to do this, I want to keep it in this position, flick it out, and bring it right back in so I can do it again. I call this Harry Potter wrist, okay? It's not a magic wand, it's a stick, it has to be in the strongest position, like his hand wants to be. I want to break his grip. How am I going to do this? By starting the process of opening his hand, by bringing it, as opposed to pulling it off of me, I'm trying to bring him down, right? See how his hand starts to open? Once the hand starts to open a little bit, now we're going to start sliding him. And see how the fingers start to open up little by little? Bringing his wrist towards my what? Center, which is where I apply my lock. If I want to go and switch, then that's something else. But you see, one more time, I want to get pulling him this way. This is not going to work. Same thing with the Kodo Mawash. I get my grip, but man, he's not letting me turn my wrist, so it's my wrist versus his arm, so I want to overwhelm him with my whole body turning over. Now I can drop him. Now I can start switching and getting other stuff and going through from there, right? One more time, right? I'm not gonna pull, I don't have to get him off of me to be able to apply the lock. I can turn his wrist and I can apply it from there. I can start opening his base up, okay? And then going into the fingers lock afterwards, all right? But one last time. Down to open this way, one. Oh, both hands, switch this way. This is another different one. Grab, and I'm gonna use both. This hand is gonna turn his wrist over this way. I can do it just with one hand, but I'm gonna overpower him, right? Because it's just his arm. So I could be a smaller person, and in fact, work on that. And we're gonna add something, okay? All right, guys, back to work. As you can see at the end of that list video, something came to my mind, another way of being able to demonstrate the same principle. I get that from one of the first things I started doing when I got my black belt was visiting other dojos. I understood martial arts through my instructor's voice and through my understanding. One of the things that I wanted to do afterwards was start to open up that, get other perspectives, different ways of teaching, sometimes the same thing. I never told an instructor, I know that. I just accepted it, opened it, and try to understand how that person explained the concept. If it was repetitive, then I would think of, maybe this is the best way to explain it. If I had a bunch of different ways, I knew that I had a bunch of different tools when I work with different students, okay? So same thing, now he's much bigger than I am. My hands are big, so I have that advantage, but he has the advantage of being over me. So when he reaches, and I want to go in, let's start off with the Kodomo without the striking and the priming. I want to make sure that I don't need to get his hand off of me. I couldn't get him off. I can get him locked. Why? Because this wrist lock is mine. It's in front of me. Okay? When I do push-ups, this is where I do my push-ups. When I lock it and I break it, this is where I'm going to be the break. Okay, from here, you can do this, you can go this hand, you can twist him up this way, sit him down, break his ankle, whatever you want to do. But again, that goes to your style, whatever you're training in. I'm not assuming that you do only jiu-jitsu, just kempo, just karate. If you do wado, shito, hapkido, whatever it is, I want you to be able to understand that when you're trying to get that grip off and you're doing the kodomo, it's straight down and into you. Now look, this is the pull. Now I can add the push. I'm just gonna stick my knuckles out and put it in the person's face. I'm gonna open because I want that pass right there. And then, oh, come on, all day long. Why? Because I'm just sitting in front of me. I'm not trying to make it fancy. All I'm trying to do is, he is now in my range. This is easy for me. Now I can switch. He's uncomfortable because the first thing he wants to do is do what? Stand up. That's where you're gonna stand up into. And I'm still kicking and striking. Again, your own style, your own preference, so I don't really want to get into that. The second part of this is the strike, don't struggle, and we're gonna get into that after that and work on that. All right, guys, hopefully you've worked on that and you can really get a sense of how to, number one, apply the locks, you know your grips. Number two, how to really get that hand off, at least to the point where you're able to apply a little pressure and start affecting the skeletal structure so he's not standing up straight. I don't want to get fancy with skeletal structure. Back up nice and straight, skeletal structure straight. Not straight. Less, and so forth. Front, back, the whole nine. So, proper application of technique, not trying to overpower the person. Now, we're gonna get into the strike, don't struggle part. I'm not gonna go too crazy with this because there's no point in me doing a bunch of hand strikes and hitting them when 1 or 2 might work, or 5 or 10 or 20 might work. So you have to kind of balance that out. Remember, striking, this is the philosophy that I want you to take. It's not a musket. You're not gonna load the musket up and put the ball bearing in and rack the thing up and shoot one. This is an AK-47. We're firing on, I don't expect you to react to anything. That's why I'm gonna throw everything at you. I'm never gonna try to go for the big musket shot and throw myself out of position. When it doesn't work, now I have to reset myself in order to be aggressive again. Every movement, every hit, every kick, punch, poke, spit in the eye, whatever you're gonna do, has to come from a postured position where you can continue either being aggressive or, you know what, I'm done, I gotta go and you get out of it. Okay, so watch, let's come in this way. So grab, let's start off with the easiest stuff. Let's start off with this stuff. We're gonna do a little bit of dancing again today. Grab. If he's giving me the hand, attacking the hand isn't necessarily a bad idea because it's so close, right? I'm not gonna attack the, open up. This side, there's muscle there, there's bone here. So if your initial strike, grab, I can be big, we can be small, I can be sitting in the chair. When I take the ridge of my knuckles and I jab it into the hand, he's gonna get a reaction that may allow me to get the lock and then do whatever I gotta do. 1 strike to prime. Let's say that one doesn't work. So I'm gonna hit, I'm not gonna hit and pop off because even if I was going to go apply the lock, I wanna go right in. I'm gonna hit, no reaction, up and down, up and down. Look at that. Hand off, right? Radial nerve, bicep, armpit, ribs, nerve cluster in the arm. So anytime he gives you something, smash it up. Because his first reaction is going to be to either pull it away, broken, oh damn, I don't want any more, grab it, or grab it and just dig in, right? That's why I say you have to be not repetitive, but consistent with your striking. And being repetitive is not a bad thing. Hitting him in the bicep once and twice and 3 times if I can't, okay, I'll get it back, whatever I gotta do. I'm gonna tag that bicep, so don't worry about being repetitive, okay? I can hit him once, hit him twice, hit him 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm still tagging that hand. Because once I get, it's turning red. Don't let the wife kill me. 1, tag, 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 hitting the bones, hitting the bones, hitting the bones, hit, nerve. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Now you're putting together combinations. Grab, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever you gotta do. And this is just because I don't want you to follow me, okay? Because I may do one thing, oh, what'd you do? I don't know, well, whatever was appropriate at the time. If he shifts a little bit, maybe that wouldn't be appropriate anymore. So I have to make that adjustment very, very quickly. So one more time. All this stuff hurts. Once I start working my way in, I have my in, and I can go back out and lock. So now that I've numbed up this arm, I can work back out. One more time. Striking can also keep him from striking. So if he hauls back to hit me, and I do this, think of that, eh? Oh, boom, and I'm on the inside, I'm on the outside. Okay? Let's play one more time. Grab. Hit, 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 hit. Low strike. Grab to the inside of the thigh. Move him in towards me. 1, 2, 3. Now my lock is cake. So again, female, male, throw that stuff out of the window. It doesn't do you any good. It's big, bigger. That's it. I'm not going to be attacked by someone smaller unless they have a weapon, okay? Somebody taller, they just think they're bigger, maybe they can come in, maybe they have a weapon, but I'm assuming the person's going to be bigger. And when the person's smaller, I assume a weapon, okay? So, very important thing to throw out. So, again, technique. Making sure that you're not muscle against muscle, trying to break Coach Steve's grip before he chokes you, he'll choke you. Trying to be smart and realize I'm going to slide him down the garment to break his posture, and I can do all of the stuff that I want to do. Okay? One more time. Let's do work quarter wash. Same thing. And then striking afterwards, whatever you want to do. Play, have fun. I keep saying play, and when people hit me up, they're like, haha, so funny. If this was work, I wouldn't be doing it. This is fun. This is me developing and seeing what I can do. I'm an artist, right? So this is my form of expression. I don't really like getting to quoting Bruce Lee because I think people quote him way too much. Rightfully so in a lot of cases, but this is expression of what you do. Who you are as a human being. I'm playing because I like having a good time. If you're a little more aggressive, I'm going to see it in your technique, and that's when the instructor goes, settle down. When a student is very timid, bring it up. So you want to be able to find this balance within people, and then you'll see it in their technique every day. I see the San Lucas people, and I see Soki Petronelli, Saga de Pasquale. When they're training, when they're doing stuff, it's all love. Afterwards, everybody's hugging. The vibe is fantastic. O Sensei Ferrer, every time we do a seminar, we eat. Super important. That family system, that community is super, super key to what we do. From the music that we listen to the art that we look at, from the documentaries that we watch, from the people that we hang out with, it's all got to be very balanced, very centered, and all quality. Work on that.
Shall take care of his sons and daughters, no matter where they live. Pass through trials and tribulation, but still we love and live. Jah know.